Stay at home as long as you can. Stay at your parents' home as long as you can. Moving out is not what it seems. Moving away from home is not what it's. From young, you're always in a rush. I can't wait till I grow up and I have my own house and I move out and I'm gonna move into an apartment. And I'm like, shut up! Shut up! Close your mouth and go sit down in your parents' house. There's things you take for granted that you won't understand until you move out. Home cooked meals.
Good point.
Home cooked meal. If I still lived at home with my mum, I could be chilling like this, probably watching TV, and randomly a lovely lady will just shout, Moyo, food's ready. I'll say, yes, mum. You know, while you're at your parents' house, more time, lunch and dinner, sometimes breakfast, it's always there for you. Anytime you want, on demand. To be honest, I live in an African household, not on demand. Whenever they want to get it done, but you know what I mean. My belly right now is rumbling. My belly right now is gurning. And I can either do one or two things. Go in that kitchen and cook for the next hour, eat for 5 minutes, and then wash up for the next 30 minutes. Terrible! Or I could go and order food right now, and it could be at my door in 25 minutes. At home, I don't have to worry about that. Bills. Since you move out your house, bills will be racking up.
Let's go.
To your eyeballs. Every breath I take in this house is like I'm paying a bill for something. It's like there's an oxygen counter in my room. It's the start of the month. My mortgage came out. Electricity bills came out. Gas bills came out. My council tax came out. Shopping, everything came out. Having a clean home 24/7. Because mums, even though they're annoyed and they're always angry at you, Moyo, pick this up. You lot, clean that. They know that if you leave it long enough, they will clean it themselves. In your own house, there's no magical cleaner. You'll be living in the muck. Yes, don't get it twisted. There's perks for moving out the house and you're grown and you're an adult now. Listen, us adults that have moved out sometimes wish that we're still back at home.
Is this real? Like, is this
Because
a movement?
I'm hungry. I don't want to cook.
Hey, listen, I want to know if this is real. Is this a movement? Let me know. Is this how it feels for you to be a mature adult moving out? I literally crack up. My wife from time to time watches videos from Mr. Moyo. And guys, listen, this guy's hilarious. But the reality is he's talking some real truths. There's some real truths deeply steeped inside of what he's sharing. And the first port of call is, why is it so challenging when people move out? And I think a big thing that a lot of people don't realize is how much legacy some people have versus other people. And when you start to wrestle with that kind of idea, you start to realize, oh, this is why it feels like it's not fair. And the reality is, it's not about whether it's fair or it's not fair. I've never seen the whole conceptual idea of fairness in the Bible. But one of the things I have seen is that we need to take things more seriously. We need to get to a place where we can start to realize in our life that in order for us to get more, which understandably means to have more, we have to be the people who become more. And it's in that process of becoming more that you garner the strength to do more. And ultimately, as a result, you end up having more. And this is the reason why I'm super interested in knowing if this is what you've experienced, if this is literally the experience that you've had in life, because living in your parents' home is great. And from an asset perspective, it's one of the simplest times in your life to radically increase your ability to generate wealth, to create wealth, and literally create a better future for yourself. This is the reason why parents encourage you to do the right thing whilst you're at home. Now, unfortunately, for many people, there is two ways that we literally decide or discover that we should learn. Let me explain what those two ways are. One is curiosity. You're super curious about what the future would be like if you figured out how to become financially free. So guess what you do? Out of curiosity, you start to develop your ability. The other is calamity. And unfortunately for most people, they wait for calamity before it perks their curiosity for them to say they want to develop themselves and do better for you and me. And the reality is we need to be people who can really put our seatbelts on, buckle down and listen when our parents are telling us at home, hey, clean up the room. When our parents are telling us at home, hey, go make yourself some food. When our parents are telling us at home, yo, go get a job, whatever it may be. Why? Because it's in the taking the initiative through means of taking the instruction, which is basically activating our curiosity before we have to end up in a position of calamity, that we actually end up equipped to do something which is more beneficial for you and for me. And it's literally that process. It's that process of saying to ourselves, you know what? I get it. Right now, maybe at the age of 18, 19, 20, I'm living at home. But in the future, at the age of 40, 45, 50, I'm not going to be living at home. And if I'm not going to be living at home because the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years are going to come past anyway, what can I do today to improve my situation? What can I do today to put me in a better predicament for my future scenario? What can I do today to create a better setting, scenario, or situation that I actually desire to be in, and not one where I'm saying I require to be back how it was before in my parents' house, living in my parents' door? So this is one of the things I think our community really need to take heed to. We need to take heed to the understanding that, yes, we may start with it all nice and cushy, but what can we do in that predicament to make sure our futures are much brighter and much more blessed futures? And a lot of the time it's literally just activation of wisdom, like utilizing wisdom that's available to us. Now, for those of you who are used to making wisdom, knowledge, and understanding all one thing, which they're not, right? Let's break this down. Knowledge is our awareness of information. That's a light definition, right? The awareness of information, right? Now, it's not specifically awareness, but let's just use that as a simple definition. Knowledge is the awareness of information. You're aware of something, but understanding is not just the awareness. This is now the assimilation of that information. We are aware of something that we can now assimilate. We can see how it fits in this situation, in that scenario, and in this situation, right? But then when we get to wisdom, we're talking about the activation of that information. We're talking about not just I know it already, not just I can see how it fits in my life already, but now we're going to that third level of I'm acting on it already. And it's the activation of information, which is ultimately wisdom. And the question is, how often are we actually activating on the things we really know? How often are we as a community saying, hey, let's bring these values together in order for us to produce an exponential result off the back of that? And the reality is that's what the comfort of living at home with your parents actually produces at that time. It produces a communal value in the sense that your mum and your pops have already gone out of their way to pay the bills for that day. It creates a communal value in the sense that your mum and your pops have already figured out how to get a house. They've already figured out how to start the mortgage process or a rental process. They've already figured out so many levels and layers of things that you and I become the beneficiary of as the children in the home. So the question then becomes, okay, what can we now add to the pot? What can we now bring to the table so that the table is able to carry way more weight? And I think this is where we've gone wrong as a community, because we've stopped thinking from a contribution-based mindset and we've started to think from a contradiction-based mindset. We're now looking at the generation before us and saying, oh, they didn't do this right. Oh, they didn't do that right. Oh, they didn't do this right. And because of that, I'm going to do it my way, like Frank Sinatra. Instead of realizing, hold on a minute, Frank weren't thinking about me, right? Frank Sinatra in his song weren't thinking about me. For me to really do it my way, I need to figure out what is the way. And to figure out what is the way, I need to start to get engaged and start to play with the people that came before me. And that's what's missing. What's missing is we're not thinking from a perspective of contribution. We've been thinking from a perspective of contradiction. And the creation of that contribution thinking, that contribution mindset, that contribution approach is what's going to activate the knowledge that we actually have in order for each and every one of us to benefit at a completely new level. So I'm interested in your thoughts on this situation. Do you think that everyone should just go back to their parents' house and give up the game? Or do you think the real key is maybe us starting to think with a mentality of contribution, thinking about how we can put things together so we can literally shift the financial, the relational, and all the other weathers? Samuel ICanWin, I'm signing out. Good day, God bless. And as I usually say, remember, small keys open big doors, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's go.
Small keys open big doors.